Oke, cek cek. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, hello people. Now, in this video, I would like to introducing my mind mapping as my material about teaching with video, and this is to complete my assignment from English teaching media development and using video in language. This method has been common feature in language teaching for many years, and teachers frequently enliven their with of air material or tapes produced for language learning. Well, beside me, beside me, there is mine mapping image that I made I made few days ago. You can see that a lot part of the material in this video, so I hope you will pay your attention and listen carefully in this video. Now, shall we begin? Okay. First, we will going to first part, that is A1. Why use video? Why use video? To some people, video tape has been common feature in language teaching for many years. Why use video? To some people, video tape is merely a glorified version of audio tape, and the use of video in class is just listening with picture. But there are many reasons why video can add a special extra dimension to the learning experience. In this part A, there are 4 main points that I will explain slowly, so listen carefully. First is seeing language in use. One of the main advantages of video that students don't just hear language, they see it too. This greatly aids comprehension. Signs, for example, general meaning, and modes are often conveyed jokes. Expression, gesture, and other visual clues. Thus we can observe how intonations can match facial expressions, or such paralinguistic features give label, meaning clues, and help viewers to see beyond what they are listening to, and thus interpret the text more deeply. Now, we will begin. Next, we will begin cross-cultural awareness. This video uniquely allows students a look at situations far beyond their classroom. This is especially useful if they want to see, for example, typical British body language like that. I think you should make your gesture, create your body gesture when inviting someone out, or how Americans speak to waiters. Video is also of great value in giving students a chance to see such things as what kinds of food people eat in other countries and what they wear. Now, next point, the power of presence. When students use video cameras themselves, they are given the potential to create something memorable and enjoyable. The camera operators and directors suddenly have considerable power The task of video making can perfect genu- genu- genuinely creative and communicative use of the language. Now the last point is motivation. For all the reasons so far mentioned, most students so show an increased level of interest when they have a chance to see language in use as well as hear it, and when this is coupled with interesting tasks. Now we move to second part. A2 video problems. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. The first is the nothing new syndrome. The switching on the minor in the classroom is not especially exciting for a television and internet viewing populations, but in our choice of video material and in the way we exploit it, we have to provide video activities that are unique learning experiences and do not just replicate home television viewing. And next point is poor quality tapes and disc, poor format, poorly format, and woodenly acted material will not engage students who are used to something better. When deciding whether to use a videotape or a disc, we have to judge whether the quality is sufficiently good to attract our students' interest. Now, next point is poor viewing conditions. We have to be sure that students can see and hear the video. The monitor must be big enough for the people at the back of the class to see the screen clearly. We also need to see if we can dim the ambient light like sufficiently for the picture to be clear. Stop and start. This is next point from previous. Stop and start. Some students become frustrated when the teacher constantly stop and start the video, only showing little bits at a time. It can also be extremely irritating if a teacher fails to show the class how the story ends. Sometimes this is done on purpose as a part to creativity or predictions, but at other times some teachers fail to take student natural curiosity into account. There is no hard and fast rule about this. We need to ask ourselves how many stops and start we ourselves and could cope with, and how much we would want to see the end of the sequence. The answer will get the way we use video with other. The length of extracts. The next point. The length of extract. Some people think that more than 2 or 3 minutes of video sends students to sleep. Others, however, like to show students whole programs. Short video sequence of between 1 and 4 minutes can yield a number of exercises, demonstrate a satisfying range of language, are easier to manipulate, and can be highly motivating. Such short extracts are usually the best options. Next point is finger and thumbs. Fingers and thumbs. Students can be irritated by teachers who cannot find what they want or get back to where they have just been on the tab or this. Teacher Teachers themselves become frustrated when the machine does not work the way they want it to. The only answer is for us to familiarize ourselves with the system we're using. Now, A3 video tips. We in a part in A3, that is video tips. First point is off-air programmers recorded from a television channel. should be engaging for our students and of a sensible length. We have to consider their comprehensibility. Apart from our language level, some of our video is also extremely difficult for students to understand, especially where particularly marked accents are used or where there is high prevalence of slang or regional vernacular. The best programmers and excerpts are ones which we can use for a range of activities including predictions. Now we come to point two, real world video. There is no reason why we and our students should we not use partly published videotape material such as feature film exercise manuals, what live documentaries or comedy, provided that there are not copyright restrictions for doing this. Next, language learning videos. Many publishers have produced freestanding language learning videos or videos to accompany coursebook. Frequently, these have accompanying workbook. The main advantages of special math videos is that they have been designed with students at a particular level in mind. The danger of language learning videos, however, is that they fail the quality test either because the production is poor, the situation and the language are inauthentic, or the content is too unsophisticated. Our choice therefore has to be limited to those sequences which our students will accept and enjoy. Now, ever whole lessons videos. Whole lesson videos. Where there are no copyright restrictions, teacher can record programs of air and base a whole class sequence around them. For example, suppose that with an intermediate class, we wish to show all of part of 30 minutes documentary about young boys being sent to private boarding school in Britain. We might start the sequence with a discussions about which of the following types of school students would prefer to go to or send their children and why. We might we might we might check our students' knowledge of certain key vocabulary before giving them a prediction exercise based on what they are going to see. This sequence shows a way exploiting and documentary stance, whether about private schooling, slum living, medical progress, the environment of recent developments in pop music. The video program has become the main text for a topic focused lessons. Next part, A5. Video as a part of a lesson. There are three. First is topic, second one language, third one relaxations. We I will explain. Start from topic. We will often be able to introduce a short 2 or 3 minute video extract into a lesson devoted to a particular topic. And language, when a class is working on the area of a language, whether grammatical, functional, or lexical, or a mixture for all three, the lesson can be greatly enhanced by a video extra which shows that language are present. Now last is relaxation. Video can occasionally be used for relaxation, but this use must not be overdone since, as we have said, we usually need to make it an active process. Now we're going to A6, self-access video. Students do not have to watch videos in the classroom, they can also watch them at home. Many modern language laboratories have no station to where students can watch and interact with specially designed sequences on film or disc. Okay, that is part A. Now I will going to explain part B, common video teaching techniques. Viewing techniques. First, fast forward. The teacher presses the play button and then fast forwards the video so that sequence starts pass silently and at great speed, taking only a few seconds. Silence viewing for language, the teacher plays the tape at normal speed but without sound. Students have to guess what the character is saying. Silent viewing for music, the same technique can be used with music. Who love music? I love music. You love music? Yes, we love music. Teachers show a sequence without sound and ask students to say what kind of music they will put behind it and why. They should give them a reason. Freeze frame. At any stage during a video sequence, we can freeze the pictures. It means stopping the participant dead in the tracks. Partial viewing. One way of provoking the students' curiosity is to allow them only a partial view of the picture on the screen. We can use pieces of a card to cover most of the screen, only leaving the edge of a view. We can put little squares of paper all over the screen and remove them one by one, so that what is happening is only gradually revealed. B2. Listening and mixed techniques. First, pictureless listening language. The teacher covers the screen and turns the the teacher covers the screen, turns the monitor away from the students, or turn the brightness control right down. The student then listen and that into the dialogue and have to guess such things as where it is taking place and who the speaker are. Can they guess their age? For example, what do they think the speaker actually look like? Pictureless listening, music. When an accepts has a prominent music track, students can listen to it and then say, based on the mood it appears to convey what kind of the scene they think it accompanies and where is it taking place. Picture listening, sound effect. In a scene without dialogues, students can listen to the sound to guide the scene. For example, they might hear the lightning of a gas stove, eggs being broken and fried, coffee being poured, and the milk and sugar stirred in. They then tell the story they think they have just heard. Picture or speech. We can divide the class into two that half of the class faces the screen and half faces away. The student who can use the screen have to describe what is happening to the student who can't. This forces them into immediate fluency, while the non-watching students struggle to understand what is going on and is an effective way to immersive perception and production in spoken English. Halfway through and accept the student. Now we are next part C, video watching activities. First C1, general comprehensions. I would like to explain it too complicated. The following activity is designed to help students watch a video in order to understand the gist of it and then look back again for details. In this activity, students have to try to give as much as possible the information as they can about what they have seen, as if they were witnesses being questioned by the police. Police, police. The best kind of video extract for this is a short one, or 2-minute conversations in an interesting location. After being taught to remember as much they can, they they can they watch the sequence in pairs. They now have to agree everything they heard and saw. When the pairs have finished their discussion, the teacher reads out questions and the students have to write their answer. The question might be something like the following, for example. How many people did you see in total in the excerpts? How many of them were women? How many of them were men? What did the men say first? Where were there any officials in the picture? If so, what were they? How many different buildings were there? When students have written the answer, they have compared them with other pairs to see whether they all agree. Know what they expect, again to see how good they are as witnesses. C2. Working with aspect of language. A way of getting students of in monolingual groups to focus on language is to get hold of English films which have subtitles in the student language. With dialect is subtitled can sometimes seem strange or funny, but even where this is true, the subtitler has tried to capture the meaning which the speaker wishes to convey in the best way they can. C3. Video as a springboard to creatively. The activity in the section show how a video excerpt can be used to spark student creativity by encouraging interpretations, provoking doubt, and asking for language use. In this activity, students watch a video excerpt and the teacher makes sure that they understand it. They do any language work which might be appropriate. The teacher now asks the students to watch their expect again, but this time they have to imagine how the scene will be different. Now we have going to the last part, the video making activities. Now we begin to D1, video simulations. Video can enhance video simulations, not only because it can provide very telling feedback when students can watch themselves and influence their performance, but also because the presence of a video camera helps to make media simulations. Creative ideas. The following activity expects the student to use their imaginations, so the students should write or explain their imagination to teacher, to other people, to in front of people. When students read a story, study an extract from a novel, or work with a crossbook dialogue, they form some kind of mental picture of what they are understanding. This ranges from a perception of the setting on to an idea of what character looks and sound like. 3. Working in language. For more advanced students, the teacher can set a grammar lecturer task where the group makes their own grammar teaching video to their classmates for students at lower levels. Now we are going to D4, getting everyone involved. Because filming usually involves one camera operator and maybe confined to one writer and one overall director, there is a danger that some students might get left out of the video making process. However, there are ways of fighting this danger. The group process assigning roles. D5. What to do with the videos? One of the main benefits of video making for students is the chance to display what they have done and get feedback on it from classmates and teachers. This can be achieved a number of ways. First, class feedback, teacher feedbacks, video installations, individual and library copies. D6. Video and the teacher. We cannot leave the topic of video without mentioning the invaluable contribution that it can make to teacher development. Having someone on film you when you are teaching can be a challenging experience, but it can be extremely valuable. Most teachers have an idea of how they appear as teachers and about how effective certain mannerisms and techniques can be. Many teachers are alarmed at seeing themselves on video, just as many people dislike their voices on audio tape. One major caveat about classroom videoing is that the camera does not actually tell the truth. If the lens is focused on the teacher, it automatically makes them the main player in the scene, even if what they are actually doing is just like listening to students. Chapter notes and further reading, video and motivation, video activities, subtitle, videoing teacher, copyright. Then I'm going to close my explanation about teaching with video. I think enough from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.